Hi friends, thank you for joining me. I'm Wendy Irene. Okay, so earlier today I made a video about the throat chakra, just a really short video. The other chakra I really want to talk to you about today is your third chakra, your solar plexus chakra. Basically where you're right above your belly button. This chakra is the color yellow. This is the chakra where you have your personal power. It's where your self-esteem comes out of. It's where your confidence comes out of. And very importantly, it's where your ability to take action stems from. Okay, so I'm really excited to talk to you about this chakra. I've been actually feeling pain in this area all day since last night. So I know it's super important. I really know that some of you need to hear about this chakra, right? So one of the ways that you can send healing, loving energy to this chakra is to place your hand on your stomach. Do this especially if you feel like someone is draining your power from you, or if you need to have that energetic block. What you can say here to really help you strengthen this chakra is, I am confident. I trust my intuition. This is a chakra that really can be damaged if you've experienced abuse or trauma, right? So some of the things that I know that can help with that in your life. Now, I want you to keep in mind, I am not a psychologist or I just see myself more as like a coach, something that I can coach you with. And for me personally, what has helped is speaking the truth to someone you know that can hold space for you, that can hear you lovingly and hold that unconditional love for you, not try to fix you, just allow you to speak it. And not everybody deserves your truth, right? Some of us at some point decide that this is something they do want to speak about publicly, that they do want to help lots of people with. But if you've been abused, this is a very personal thing, and you only have to share this with someone you trust if you feel that will help you in your healing journey. I know for me, one thing that was traumatic, I shared with someone that I just trusted, took that leap of faith that with my intuition that this was the right person to share it with. And I'm going to tell you, it was an 11 out of 10 uncomfortable, maybe 100 out of 10. But I have such deep faith in my intuition, which comes from my third chakra, that I took that leap of faith and I listened to my intuition. I listened to the fact that this was someone I needed to tell this to. After that, what happened for me is, and this is all the process of healing, right? Healing is not always pretty, but it's so worth the work, right? Because the release that you get after you let it out is amazing. And then your vibration raises. So for me, after I let out a particular trauma, I then later on in the day had a huge dark night of the soul. I don't know if you're drawn to these videos, you may know what I'm talking about. The last time I feel like I had a dark night of the soul was 9 years ago. This was much bigger, right? This felt like lifetimes of stuff coming up for me. So for me, what that felt like, after basically I brought what I was keeping in the shadows to the light by speaking it, that night I got home, I knew, I sensed it coming on, right? I closed, I got in my room, I got all the animals out. I told my daughter, hey, I need you to get everything out. And she, my poor daughter, she's my protector, really is like, but Mom, I haven't had dinner yet, right? But she just knew. So I kind of crawled in my bed and I got under the covers and I just let the tsunami hit me. When I was a kid, I grew up going to the ocean in Hamptons on Long Island, which was so fun. I didn't even realize how special that was when I was a kid, but now I do. But there was big waves there, and there was an undertow, and there was, a couple of times where I got stuck in the undertow, and it is scary, right? Because you're like, am I going to come out? Am I ever going to come out? Because you're just getting dragged and tumbled, right? And you feel like, God, please help me get out of this. So anyway, for me, it felt like this tsunami of every insecurity, self-hate, self-doubt, just completely questioning everything, questioning who I am, just all the darkness, right? Just sucked me under, right? And in the moment, it's so difficult. You feel like, am I going to have a mental break? Am I going to be okay? But you are stronger than any trauma or any abuse that you've ever faced. Your soul is stronger. So eventually, when I came out and I saw the light again, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't drown, because this was a tsunami. I felt my vibration raise higher. It was like this release of darkness allowed my vibration to go even higher. Then, following that, for a few weeks, I started to receive pieces of information that I didn't want. I feel like there was part of me that like knew some of it, but it's like I didn't even want to remember. So I would receive some information, and then when I was downloading the darkest, hardest part for me, I was saying in that time, in that traumatic events, I am stronger than this. I am stronger than this. You cannot kill me, knowing that death is just an illusion, right? And then I looked all that darkness right in the eye, like the fear. So much fear is part of darkness, and the hate, and the, just everything that, just feeling basically like this fear and hatred towards me. I looked it right in the face and I said, I love you. And then all of a sudden there was this huge release. Like everything felt so much lighter. Now, I'm not trying to keep this trauma a secret or anything. It's not that I have a problem sharing, but it's kind of crazy. Some of the stuff that I have gone through, I feel like in this lifetime and others, is really crazy, interesting. So I might be saving it for some kind of creative project one day, maybe a book or a movie. I feel like it would make a really interesting story. So, but anyway, that's not to say that I'm trying to keep anything from you. I just want you to know, like, certain things you don't have to share with everybody. But if you can share it with somebody that you really trust, you really truly trust, has your highest good in mind, it could help you. And let yourself remember, let yourself feel, and then let yourself love that darkness. Choose to love it and feel its grip on you just completely release. Okay, so this is again why it's so important to really embrace being imperfect and challenge your negative self-talk. The darkness is so freaking sneaky. It's sneaky. I almost laugh at it now because it's like it can sneak in little ways. Like you can be on the internet and you can be getting information that feels, which is really good about the internet, that feels like your soul recognizes as such truth. And then there's these things that creep in that like pretend to be truth, but they're manipulation and they're darkened, and you feel your body starts to be like, this doesn't feel good. Turn away from it. Just like you would a person who is taking advantage. They know your insecurities. They know how to manipulate you. Turn away from that energy. You feel that in your body. What feels loving? What feels uplifting? What feels like angels surrounding you? What feels like divine protection? Because when you are able to trust your intuition so deeply that you take these leaps of faith, what comes out on the other side is more beautiful than you would have imagined. This is something that I've really learned a lot about in life. I have so many times had to follow my intuition when it didn't make any sense to me, when it was just like there was no logical reason. I didn't understand the moment, but then the step appears. It's really true. You have to take the action, not knowing everything. I have moved so many times to follow my intuition to get from upstate New York to exactly where I am now, on the Pacific Northwest, to be at a job that didn't even make sense to me. I was like, why am I at this job? But to be in the exact right place and time for other things to happen that were meant to happen in my life. And if I had not followed my intuition, even when it didn't make sense to me, then I wouldn't be where I am. And there was one time in my life that I specifically did not listen to my intuition. And this was when I was 18. I knew in my heart that there was a particular school that I was supposed to go to. But then I let the world talk me out of it. Like, oh, well, it's really expensive and all the logical reasons you could think of, right? And I went to a different school that logically made more sense. But I felt like my soul was ripping apart. The agony that came from not listening to my intuition was huge. But it was such a great lesson for me. I was so young, but I knew I have to trust myself, because if I don't and I do what's wrong to my intuition, it feels like the biggest misery, like death, right? So you're so punished by turning away from it. That's not what I want for you. I want you to have so much strength and faith in your intuition that you know when it's your intuition speaking to you, that you listen to it, that you take those leaps of faith, that you trust in God's plan for you, and you feel confident that you feel confident in your intuition. So stay away from anything that feeds your insecurities. Stay away from the things that are the tricky darkness that try to trip you up, right? And a lot of times this is going to come in the ego or the mind, or you're going to be like, well, this doesn't logically make sense, but in your heart, you know it does. So one thing that we know to be very helpful for your stomach is ginger. Now, I never connected this with helping with my third chakra until today. One of the things that I love to do in the morning is, before I drink decaf coffee, I try not to have caffeine. I try not to have any kind of drug or stimulant that has any kind of hooks on me, because I just want to be like an open channel. But I boil ginger, just a little tiny bit of ginger and water for 20 minutes. And then I add cinnamon and lemon to the water. And that's the first thing I drink in the morning. But the lemon is yellow, like the third chakra, and ginger is so good for that chakra. So if you're feeling called to making that drink in the morning, I highly recommend it. It just feels so nourishing for me. And I hope that it helps you too. I'm here for you. If you want me to send you, any prayer or support for your third chakra, you can leave a yellow heart below. If you want to write more, you can. You don't have to. And this is anytime. Like, I trust in the divine timing that if you find this video, it's because you're meant to. And I am happy to energetically support you with that chakra. So yeah, please feel free, no matter when this video comes out, by the time you find it, to leave that yellow heart, and I will send you some love there. Okay, so there's one other thing that I wanted to add to this video before I stopped it, and that is that my teacher, Belinda Davidson, was a huge saving grace for me in my life. I followed my intuition to her. She is a teacher from Australia, and I honestly, I cannot put into words the difference she has made in my life. Not giving me the answers, but slowly supporting me and guiding me energetically. Even now, even though I'm not in her school anymore that she used to run, her newsletters that come out, it's like she knows exactly where I'm at and exactly, that little bit of confirmation that I need sometimes, just and that energetic support. And for me, it is so comforting to even just go back and watch one of her old videos that she made 10 years ago, just kind of talking about her story. I feel that the reason that she was meant to be my teacher, part of the reason is that, we have similar soul purpose, but also I feel like we've went through a similar trauma. And I didn't know it at the time when I first met her, but now that I kind of let myself remember things that I had kept shoved away, my gratitude for her is immense. And she really helped me learn to take care of my chakras. It's like the teaching a man to fish, right? To take care of my energy system, to take care of my chakras. So I will leave a link down below for her really old video if you want to hear her story, but it really touches my heart. She is like the superstar to me on the team. Like, her abilities and her sensitivity just far exceeds anything or anyone I know. So if you're interested, Belinda Davidson's link to her video, her YouTube video, I'll leave below. Okay, thanks friends. Have a good day.